This is... Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Everything is different right now. Everything, I say. Everything. Hello. I'm just, Alright, chat. Hello. Yes, it's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be so much to talk about, but also, like, not that much. But also, like, a lot. But, I mean, like, you know, it's not the worst. It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. Alright, there we go. Then I gotta do this. Go live. Alright. It's been a wild last day and a half. It sure has, bud. It sure has. But you know the wildest thing? I got my I got new old headphones. Or old new headphones. Or something. I have like these like high quality like special edition headphones that I got like a long time ago. and let's just say I wasn't able to use them before, but now I can. So we're Gucci gang. We're happy, we're vibing, we're thriving. I'm certainly thriving. I'm definitely having a good time. Alright, just gotta do a couple more button presses. and then we'll be ready. I hope you enjoy this. I spent the last X amount of hours in the day making this look all nice and pretty and stuff, so hopefully this is to our liking. Perfect. Alrighty. Alright. Okay. That's good. Alright. Everything's working. Nothing's crashing. We're live with them game changers. What them game changers do, honestly. Ooh, they should be called game changers instead of game changers. Shit. Damn. Damn, we're just not coming up with this. Game changers of distant past. Right, I don't have a thing for this. Alright, there we go. Okay, done. And then I hit go live. Alright, we're good now. I no longer have to... Now we can dive into this. We're here. We're here. We got new headphones. We got new vibes. We're vibing. We're happy. We're thriving. And we have brand new cards to look at on the banned and restricted list. Magic has gone through quite a couple I mean, I wouldn't even call these shakeups, to be honest with you. I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see what the actual, what comes of all of it at the end of the day, but I think that it's really good for the community that we kind of, like, go through these one at a time, you know. Of course, for content, but also just to be able to, like, really look at each and every one of these. I already said on Twitter, it's just, like, my number one thing... Not Twitter, Blue Sky. My number one thing for, like, any cards that go on or off the game changers or the ban list or whatever it is, whatever cards go on and off it, I want to know why, right? Like, the excuse me, the background reason as to why, right? Like, what was the thought process that went into, and I'm not saying that like in a mean way, like, oh my god, what were they thinking? That's not what this is going to be about at all. But like by and large, I'm pretty happy with the banned and restricteds, and especially with the game changers. Like adding things, pushing things up to the game changers is, I think, something that's very good and positive. And something that we should, one, expect more of in the future, right? Like, we should expect more of that. But just in general, you know, like, one thing, they want to sell more precons? Well, I mean, that's... Yeah, but that's not really saying anything. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this, right? Like, right here. Like, that doesn't have anything to do with this other than the fact that like they want Commander to be healthy, right? Like that's I think that's reasonable, right? That makes sense to me at least. But these changes here, like that they've made, that doesn't strike me as any way, shape, or form like, oh, they're trying to manipulate the blah 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 to like, make people buy more Commander precons or cover up any like mistakes or anything like that. Like this seems rather natural to me. I personally, all of these bans and unbans seem fine to me, especially when we start looking at. There's two things. Once we start looking at like the reasonings for the banning, for the unbans, which I'm very, very happy that they at least give us a small blurb as to why they choose to, ban or unban something. And then also it's like, if we can just like accept, if we accept that the rules committee is okay with big, splashy, not even swinging cards, but cards that like more or less end the game, either in a win or like just far more in someone else's favor, like one singular cards that do it. If we just acknowledge that they are okay with those things, I think that most, if not all, of the changes to the banned and restricted list are reasonable. Like they are all like, oh, okay, I get it now. That makes sense considering they seem to be fine with this, that, and that. So, yeah, I think a lot of these make sense, if not really all of them. And I think we'll kind of just see that it's a little bit of all of them. Let me Just one more thing. All right. Burn. Okay. Multi-action. Buffer save. Perfect. All right. Let's talk, chat. Let's talk. All right, I'm here now. I'm fully here now. So yeah, we have quite a bit to talk about, right? How far in are we? We just started. We are literally just now starting. I had to, of course, do a bunch of stuff to make sure everything is moving right. But I think that we're all good. This is a new overlay format. But it'll be this going forward whenever there's like news to react to. Like, hey, look, it's me. It's Kurohitsuki reacting to X, Y, and Z in the Magic community. Look at that. Who would have thought? But yeah, like, I by and large, like, just quick spoiler alert, I am fine with most everything that's that they've either added or taken away. But it still warrants a discussion, and that's what we're gonna do. Just gonna make sure things are in the right spot so I can read and see everything and yippity yappity. But I think we can pretty much start here. Let's start this conversation, and we're gonna start it off with like pretty much like the easiest things here, right? Trouble in pairs, right? Or in general, we're going to talk about the former game changers, right? So things that were, they used to be a lot scarier, or I mean, they used to be so scary that they chose to. Let's start here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let's start right where we are. So formerly, Trouble in Pairs was on the Game Changers list, right? We're not going to go over like the entire Game Changers thing. That we're not doing that today. That'll be like a different, a very different video. But Trouble in Pairs has now been taken off of the Game Changers list. As you can see, Trouble in Pairs, 2 white enchantment. If an opponent would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. That's perfectly fine. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draw. What? Hold on. Oh yeah, no, I forgot. It just like lists the whole damn thing. So let me just restart that there. I like forgot how Trouble in Paris works because I very rarely see it. I only see it in like tier 4 games. Hey, Hire MTG, good to see you, bud. Hire, it's good to see you. good cards that weren't game changer lists. No, exactly. So, and we'll see that with a lot of their reasonings for things. So, okay, Trouble in Pairs, 2 white enchantment. If an opponent would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn, or casts their second spell each turn, you draw a card, right? So, that's a lot of text. That's a lot of text on a card in white that says, hey, just draw cards when your opponent does a lot of things. I don't think it's Mangara the Diplomat is similar to this. Similar to this, but definitely not the same, right? Like, definitely, like, they are different cards. One being a creature, right? This is an enchantment. One doing more, right? I mean, this enchantment, which is hard to get rid of, does more than Mangara, right? Ristic but worse? I don't even think it's Ristic but worse, right? Not necessarily. Ristic is, I think, too high to, like, really compare this much to. Like, yes, it's an enchantment that draws a color cards, but, like, one, this is a color that typically, you know, in the past, had trouble drawing cards, right? So, like, not only does it help white draw more cards than normal, but, like, the rate at which it, like, punishes, or just basically how often it triggers on your opponent's breathing, it almost feels like it just does a lot. And I think they even said, in fact, let's look at their reasoning for this. So, boom, Trouble in Pairs. The first card being delisted is Trouble in Pairs. This card has certainly emerged with as a standout card since it was released about a year ago. While it can draw a lot of cards, it's on par with some cards that are not on this list. The general feeling is that it is slightly unfair, and it's slightly unfair to have it on the bar of the Game Changers list, and that we probably jumped the starting line on this one. It's plausible it could get added back in the future as the list evolves and we receive more feedback. So that's all fine, right? Like, basically, like, all they're saying here is this card isn't that bad. You know, maybe it was like a bit of an overreaction to put this card on there in the first place so quickly, but I mean, it was the beginning version, the beta version, right? We're still in the beta version, but the first rendition of the Game Changers list had Trouble in Pairs. And I don't disagree with, at the very least, thinking it might need to be on there. But after careful enough review and feedback, meh, it just is rather in line with other cards and not in line with Ristic Study, right? Clearly, it's like way worse than Ristic, yeah. Yeah, this card does a lot. It punishes the pod for playing Magic. You know, yeah, it feels like it for sure. However, I don't think it sees play in a manner that could be easily tracked, so the representation might be pretty low. Perhaps, you know. It's also a card that, like, literally, more than most Magic cards, this card quite literally comes with baggage, right? Like, it's the most recent and glaring example of, okay, guys, Watsy, we understand white was bad at drawing cards, but, like, we're good now, okay? Like, you've solved that. Stop, please, no, oh my god, you overcorrected with Trouble in Pairs. Like, it's the most recent card along that line. 2, the controversy around the art, right? The art of Trouble in Pairs has its own controversy around it. Like, a lot. Like, an outrageous level of controversy. It's really weird. And then, lastly, I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of, like, really pushing the boundary, right? Like, it's pushing the boundary of how many things can we give one card in white to get over this feeling of, oh my gosh, like, just white just doesn't draw cards. Like, it's really pushing the boundary. So I think it was fair for the earliest rendition of the Game Changers list to have it, but yeah, they're just like, hey, listen, turns out to not actually be that bad. And as you said, higher, the representation is low, probably because it's only seen in, like, tier 4 and higher games, right? Like, it's probably only there. You know, 3 and higher. To be fair, one of the modes requires you to be attacked. True, with 2 or more creatures, right? There's at least that, right? But, like, your opponents always want to draw 2 cards, right? At least a turn. And now you get to draw. It's like, okay. And cast 2 spells a turn? That's, like, the goal of Magic. That's the goal of any game you're playing. to draw cards and eventually cast them, you know? But regardless, I think that this card is fine, quite frankly. Actually, let me take the poll away because we're not doing the poll yet. That's going to be for the ban list part. But yeah, so Trouble in Pairs, all in all, I think it's pretty reasonable. Even just their description above here, not even going over the specifics of like, oh, this card is like, turns out not that bad. It's in line with like, you know, cards that are worse than Ristic Study, blah, 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 blah. They're really just saying we might have just jumped the gun on this one, and it's not at the same level as other cards that are definitely on the Game Changer list. So honestly, Trouble in Pairs being gone, I'm perfectly fine with, quite frankly. Or not being gone, but like being taken off of the Game Changers list. The first line of text is something people tend to overlook. Like, hosing extra turns just tacked on. It felt like they were really trying to push the card. I mean, certainly, right? I mean, I think that's super fair, Etria. But honestly, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think that's super fine. And also, Beardly, I guarantee you that Keep Watch draws more cards in casual game. That's also... Wait, which one's Keep Watch? Which one is Keep Watch? I actually have to look that up. I just, like, can't actually think of that one. Or actually, we can just type in card Keep Watch. Oh, does it not listen to me? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, draw a card for each attacking creature. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's actually super fair. That's fair. Okay. On to the next one. All right. And on to the next former Game Changer. We have Trinisphere. Literally. As a judge, it's my favorite card. It's my favorite judge card because it is a card in Magic the Gathering that literally has its own rules layer. The rules layer of casting a spell makes you basically check for a Trinus form. And only Trinisphere. And I love it. I love it so much. As an Atali main, I'm allergic to this. Ooh, so you mean it's good that it's gone. Got it. Okay. Atali main, stay unwinning. So, Trinisphere, 3 mana artifact. As long as Trinisphere is untapped, each spell that would be sorry. As long as Trinisphere is untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 mana to cast costs 3 mana to cast. So, for example, if a card was 1 in a black, it will now cost 2 in a black instead. Like, just no matter what. My favorite card. I love it. You want to know a horrible combo with Trinisphere? Nether Void plus Trinisphere. Which one's Nether Void? Oh, whenever a player plays a spell, counter unless its controller pays 3. Love that. That's pretty gross. All spells now cost 6. My favorite. I do, if I was gonna play this card, I would lock people out with, like, Knowledge Pool? And the other Lavinia card, where it's just, like, players, whenever they cast a spell, it gets exiled, and then they can cast another spell that was also exiled for free, but, like, Trinisphere will make it cost 3 unless it's untapped. Yeah, that's the shit I do. With a Rakish Angle, hard lock deck. Yeah. Slightly less than Nether Void, but still pretty brutal. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was thinking Godpharaoh's Statue. Godpharaoh's Statue is at least like a 6 mana card and just makes things cost 2 more, right? Like, it's just... And it's not add 3 to spells, right? It's not add 3 to spells. It's if it would cost less than 3, make it 3. So it's not add 3 to spells, it's make every spell cost 3. Love that card. Pay your taxes. Possibility Storm. Exactly, Possibility Storm. Yep. Yeah. Makes everything your opponents cost 5. Oh, for, no. No, not this one. As for Prison, honestly, my domain expanse would be Trinisphere. I'm just saying. As a Lavinia lover, yeah, that's my domain expanse. So yeah, Trinisphere. Let's see what they said about it. So that's not it. Trinisphere. Oh, that's annoying. Hold on really fast. That's crazy. There we go. Okay. Trinisphere, the second card delisted is Trinisphere. This card is not the most fun to play against. I mean, okay. No denying that. However, it tends to be strongest at the highest power levels, like Optimized Bracket 4. For sure, 100%, right? And CDH. That's almost literally where you see it, right? There are many cards on the level of unfun stacks pieces like Sphere of Resistance, Rule of Law, and Nether Void that aren't on the Game Changers list. And generally, if your deck is trying to lock other players out in a stack style, that's a play pattern that doesn't match the intent of Bracket 2, and I would say even 3, and you should bracket up. If you want to play a single fair Trinisphere, it may be a little frustrating, but ultimately reasonable. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Yeah, sure. 100%. I'm good with that reasoning. Again, the reasoning isn't just like, oh, this card isn't that bad, or, you know, like it's only in tier 5, so it's fine. It's just saying that, like, hey, stacks, like decks that want to use this card are typically stacks, which is against the spirit of bracket 2 in the first place, right? If you want to do that, then go higher in bracket. Luckily, it's already self-policed to be bracket like 4 and 5 anyway. And just other cards that are like this. Uh-oh, I froze. That sucks. Other cards that are like this end up being perfectly fine. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, no, sorry about that. I was on the roll. Cards that are like Trinisphere aren't on the Game Changers list, so it doesn't need to be placed here absent of those other cards anyway. They mentioned Nether Void. I really, really like that they mentioned Nether Void. It's unlikely to do much. Exactly. That's where I stand in this card. It's usually most decks that are lower power don't start doing things until they're actually at 3 mana. Also true. All the tap lands that are involved, yeah, for sure. Speaking of lots, choose to attempt to get a possibility storm with Lavinia on the battlefield. This exists to punish faster and lower mana value decks. Correct. And even then, I think this card exists just to be a combo piece to locking people like out the game. Personally, at least like in modern day Magic, that's what you see it for. It's amazing you can stay so still while talking so clearly. I'm professional content creator. Okay, so now that we covered those two, there was only 2 delistings from the Game Changers, right? So like it's not a really long list, and I think that's fine. You know, again, it's just the first iteration. And if anything, we actually added like 50 million more Game Changers, which I think we're going to actually talk about that next. But first, I want to talk about the unbans. Because the unbans are kind of a bigger deal, right? Like, almost literally, I think the unbans are, like, pretty wild. Unbanned cards. Yeah. Yep, there's one. There's one already. Perfect. All right. Nailed it. Everything swapped over perfectly fine. All right. One wild unbanned maybe, and not that wild. Yeah. I literally spent like $200 yesterday buying foils of your favorite unbans from yesterday. So like you bought them post ban lists, like unbanning? Damn. And of course, you used code Kuro when you bought them from CoolStuffInc.com, right, Etria? Right? Right, chat? That's what you do? You go to CoolStuffInc.com, right? You see it over there in the corner, right there, and use code Kuro? Of course you do. That's ring to buy all these cards. All right, and then this is not former Game Changers. This is released. Released from jail. No, let me just say unbanned. unbanned. I pulled the gifts out of a dollar bulk. Honestly, I mean, gifts ungiven is largely in bulk right now, right? Which is not like it's not unreasonable. It's fair. Like, it makes sense. I'm playing this in Niv Parun today. It just wins if it resolves. What, gifts ungiven? Probably. Something. If intuition is legal, yeah, right. I don't do physical product. That's also fair, Wobbler. Of course. I've been playing this in Envious. Yeah. I mean, I have gifts ungiven in my like bulk for sure. I'm gonna have to like make sure I pull one out. I have a couple. Like, I know that I have a place of the gifts when I try to play Legacy. All right. So chat, we have two things as we talk about this. One, we're gonna talk about the card itself, and then once I read the card, and then I read their reasoning for unbanning the card, a poll is going to go live where people can vote on how they feel about this card. Option 1 will be, in fact, you can see it here. Option 1 will be this card should never have been banned, or sorry, should have stayed banned. Card should have never been banned in the first place. Or option 3, which personally I think is going to be the more reasonable take, is that modern Magic is fine with it, right? So, like, banning way back when was probably fine, or at the very least you can understand the reasoning behind it, but modern day Magic can survive it. So it's okay to be unbanned, right? Like, that's the distinction that we want to do here. Either should have never been banned in the first place, shouldn't be unbanned, or at the very least, modern Magic is fine with it, right? Not to put your thumb on the scales. I mean, yes, of course. You still have gifts later, you can just win because it tutors up your combo lines very cleanly. Yeah. The options are right, wrong, and dirty centers. Well, here we are. Okay, so, anyway, but we don't need to look at the poll yet. So, gifts ungiven. 3 in a blue instant. Search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand, then shuffle. This card's really good. Chat's already been talking about how, yeah, basically you can just tutor up your combo pieces. A lot of combos in Commander only need 2 cards, right? Like, they only need 2 cards in the first place. So it's pretty reasonable that, hey, 4 mana instant speed, tutor up basically 2 cards that you want to your hand, you just get 4 copies, right? Like, you just get 2 copies of the 2 card combo pieces that you need, and then you're gonna get what you want, right? It's also 4 cards, right? It's not like instants and sorceries or anything like that. It's just 4 cards with different names. So that's like a lot. Like, that's a lot. For 4 mana and instant speed, you know? If the guy has nothing but ugly, awesome creatures, this can be a game changer. Yes. I mean, yeah. If you're playing a game that can win off of gifts ungiven, you're not bringing it to bracket 3 or below because that's a 1-card combo. I don't know if that's entirely true. I mean, you can still do, like, a card on the field, like the third combo piece card, right? And then you tutor up 2 of the other pieces, right? Like, I mean, this is a 4-drop. I don't think people should just play this 4-drop apropos of nothing, right? Like an empty board state, turn 4, play it and win. That's certainly not great. But I mean, even on turn 5 or 6, being able to just end step instant speed this, tutor up the 2 pieces that you need for the 1 piece that's already on the board. I mean, yeah, that's like pretty big, honestly. Look at it another way. They took away gifts from fun interactive games, aka, hey, other player, I need this answer to this other player. Will you let me tutor for it? Aka diplomacy at power level games. This should never have been banned. Just a high power game changer card, not ban worthy IMO. Fair. Yeah, no, I mean, we'll vote for this. I like the floor of this card as a double Entomb. Yeah, the floor of this card is that it's double Entomb. I would counterspell, not banworthy. Okay, all right, we'll see. It would be antithetical to the intent of bracket 3. Interesting, huh? Okay, all right, well, let's read their decision. Let's read why Let's read the dissenting opinion. So, Gifts Ungiven. This is a beloved card with a great history. Many of you out there enjoyed casting this card in all sorts of formats. We're excited to return it to Commander. The previous concern had been the nature of this as a powerful tutor, the time-intensive casting process, and the combos, multiple, enabled by this card. We considered this with the structure of brackets and just regular pregame conversations. If your deck is trying to infinite combo people with this, then they should often help sort out. Hold on. They should often help sort out if you are playing in the right environment. Yeah, okay. I gotta make this a slightly bigger screen for myself. Looking at OBS is difficult in the best of times. Okay. Let me restart that second part. We considered this within the structure of brackets and just regular pregame conversations. If your deck is trying to infinite combo people with this, they should often help sort out if you are playing in the right environment. On the other hand, a fair Gifts Ungiven is very fun and akin to Fact or Fiction in the politics and interplay between players that it can create. So that does play into something that chat mentioned earlier, right? It's just like, you can do Fact or Fiction, and there's multiple kind of like versions of Fact or Fiction where it's like, hey guys, our opponent is about to go off, and I can tutor up the answer for it. You over there, you, chosen player, give me the better pile, or give me the 2 cards that I need for this. So, I mean, still reasonable, right? I do like that they call out that specific aspect of, yeah, this can be played politically, right? To help you secure not losing the game for the entire table. And your table will help you that. I'm sorry, 2-card combo. The power of multi-target tutors is compressing your combo into a smaller number of pieces. So the combo is Gifts Ungiven plus 1 other piece. That's a 2-card combo. I see. That's what you're saying. All right, so with reading of that, we're going to show the poll here.
New poll started.
And the poll has started. So, option 1, so you have to do ! vote, and then 1, 2, or 3. 1 should have stayed banned, right? Should like never have left the ban list. 2 should have never been banned in the first place. Or 3, fine in modern Magic, right? So like, you know, it banned before. It was maybe reasonable back then, but in modern day Magic, we can deal with it. What do we got here? You'll vote your conscience, yeah, too? Damn, okay. People are largely voting that should have never been banned. I'm about it. This card gets better at high IV tables. True, Metal. Which is fine, right? Like, that's... And everything should be, like, better at the higher tier tables. You know, basic lands get better at higher tier tables when you're... depending on what you're using it for. But the game changer list, at the very least. And also, I think all of these cards are being unbanned into game changers, right? So it's not just that they're being unbanned and let loose into the wild. You know, they're going to be reprinted in the nearest precon. They're just unbanned and put on the game changers list immediately. It'd be pretty wild if they didn't do that. If being honest with you, it'd be pretty heckin' wild. And I think I don't really know what else to say about Gifts Ungiven. Like, it's just fine. Like, it's good. The intuition is legal argument is real here, and intuition is older than Gifts Ungiven. Also true. And I think we go over in intuition next. So I think we actually need to wait the full 5 minutes. I'll probably just have the vote go on a bit longer, but yeah, I think it's very clear that it's going to be 2 should have never been banned. So chat is of the opinion that this card should just never have been banned in the first place, even in older Magic, right? Like way back when. This should just never have been banned. It was perfectly fine then. It's perfectly fine now. I find it interesting. Both cards basically operate the exact same axis, I think, for intuition. Yeah. I'm glad you said it, because it's been my stance on so many of these cards, still trapped in the ban list for no good reason. Yeah, this entire, like, discussion does help identify and address that, I think. Just address the, like, banned for no good reason crowd. I like this card, however, collusion is a concern of mine, intentional or otherwise. We're going to leave that up to CDH to figure out, right? I would say most of them are for good reason, but Gifts Ungiven is a very reasonable unban. I think it's a reasonable unban for sure. I think that Modern Magic can deal with it personally. Like, my vote is 3. Fine in Modern Magic. Cook-a-day, I wish I lived close. I wish you lived close too, Demon. Alright. And that one. Alright, so yeah, that was number 2. Should have never been banned winning there. Alrighty. Let's go over to the next card here. We've got... let me actually just show the text one more time. Those gifts ungiven. Alright, next we have Sway of the Stars. Now, okay. I forgot that this card existed, to be honest with you. And honestly, I definitely didn't know that this card was banned. I can tell you that much. I definitely forgot it existed. But every time I looked at it on like a list, just going through cards, I never would have known that this was banned. I would have never guessed it was banned, to be honest with you. Like, just not really. For 10 mana, it isn't bannable? Yeah. Yeah. In fact, we can just start the poll on this one now.
New poll started.
Yeah. The poll is just already live. I love the reasoning for this ban is just shuffle up and play a new game. That's also fair, in my opinion. Yeah, it's like Shahrazad. Like, I don't want that to be any more legal than it already is. So yeah, Sway of the Stars. 8 blue sorcery. Each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents they control, or they own, into their library, then draws 7 cards. Each player's life becomes 7. Okay. Alright. 10 mana, shuffle up everything. Lands, graveyard, hand, everything. And then just restart, and everyone starts at 7. I know, like, maybe for the first couple days, a week maybe, of this being unbanned, there's going to be, of course, like, the contingent of players who are just like, oh, yeah, like, they messed up unbanning Sway of the Stars, and I'm going to make the Sway of the Stars deck. The whole thing is to get the Sway of the Stars, and then just, like, crack everyone with lightning bolts or something. And you know what? Fine. Whatever. I think that Modern Magic can have it. Let's read the disposition on it. So, Sway the Stars, a 10 mana way to reset the game, akin to Worldfire, which is unbanned, which was previously unbanned in Commander to little fanfare or play. There are some players who enjoy this effect. It's an impactful card, but not very powerful. There are plenty of other spells that cost 8 or more mana that have a far higher impact than Sway. Our guess is this will see little play, but the people who enjoy cards like these will now be able to play another one. Cool. Yep, that's the reasonable excuse to me, honestly. Girl, I'm the only person that voted with me? No, come on. I just think that Modern Magic's fine with it. Honestly, I think Modern Magic is perfectly okay to deal with Sway the Stars. I can see, because, I mean, Worldfire was banned, right? Like, because Worldfire was banned previously under whatever mindset, it makes sense to me that Sway of the Stars was banned back then, too. This was just kind of like the next thing, but in blue. Last resort, oops, I went off the rails on Taval Arbiter value train, and I need to table the Field Justice Stress Now card. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Imagine giving this thing flash, right? Like, someone's playing Taval, and they cast a spell that's like 7 mana, and you go, okay, in response to Taval making you lose that life, I'm gonna Sway the Stars, Lamau get wrecked. That'd be sick. I would have loved to mana drain this and get 10 mana on my turn. Or you just mana drain into Sway the Stars all the time anyway, right? That's what I would do. I'm only okay with this card because of the Worldfire unban, and it's not a game changer. Oh, is this not... I thought that every card being unbanned was on the game changer list, personally. That makes sense to me, because you want to, like, watch the card before you're just, like, fully off of it, but maybe I'm wrong there. Worldfire is not a game changer. That's what you're saying. Yes, Worldfire is not. Heard you have something cool with Joe coming up. Can you tell what? What don't I have cool coming up with Joe? To be honest with you, I mean, we're gonna be doing stuff at Vegas. We're gonna be doing stuff like next week. The list goes on of things I do with Joe Johnson. So, Grizzly Gentlemen, the options are too many. I don't know. Oh my gosh, the camera keeps freezing. It's crazy. I don't know why. I know. I'm just very, very still, chat. You just don't understand my power. You just wouldn't get it. I'm just built different. Clearly, yeah. You should be a ventriloquist, yeah, for sure. I'm just the voice of God over here, just speaking. Speaking of cards that obviously just got added to the GC list, true. Mini marshmallows. Hi, AMC. How you doing? That was pretty great ventriloquism. I'm just that good, you know? Movie magic. Okay, so how are we feeling? The vote is almost done. We've got a minute left. So yes, ban the vibes of this ban, chat. How are we feeling? Do we like that this was should have never been banned? Should have stayed banned, or fine in modern Magic? I do like the should have stayed banned crowd though. That's an interesting one. Who cast Stasis on Kuro? I just got the special powers. Ominous. It's all good. It's fine. I think it's fine in modern Magic. That's my vote. My vote is 3 for sure. But it looks like I'm being muscled out here. Giving it 30 seconds. I respect to fine in modern Magic. I didn't play when Commander was new. That's also fair. I played when Commander was not new as well, but like certainly on the up and up. The only deck I can think of here is this is Nita's Cowboy Hat Fibblethip. That's funny. That's funny. That's hilarious. That's funny. Okay, at the very least, Fibblethip decks have a new card to play with, and you know what? That's cute. All right, should have never been banned wins. Should have never been banned. Alrighty. Chat, you have decided. Appreciate that. Okay. On to the next card. We have Braids. Cabal Minion. Oh, lordy do. Lord howdy. Braids Cabal Minion. Where do we begin? Black Braids was one of the first banned cards I ever interacted with. Just, I mean, you know, way back when, but just being like, wow, this card is really strong. I should try to buy it. It's only $1. That's wild. And then someone's just like, yeah, it's banned. It's banned in Commander. I'm like, oh, wow. It was like, I think maybe potentially one of my first interactions with the Commander ban list, which is fine. One of the All-Star beloved or despised cards of the format. True. Option 4, banned as Commander. Yeah, they did mention that as being like a question, like should they do a separate banned as Commander list or just banned in the 99? So the reason that Braids was like such an issue, right, is because like turn 1, you in black, you just kind of like, you know, mulligan until you get get a ritual, right? You get a ritual out with Braids, you cast her on turn 1 or even 2, and now every one of your opponents is just like, at the beginning of your at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or lands. And if you are unlucky to not have multiples of those out as early as Braids Cabal Minion, yeah, you just kind of like lose. And that's definitely happened to people before, right? Like it was not an unreasonable thing. It happened. And I was perfectly always fine with Braids Cabal Minion being banned. I was okay with it. And Blue Braids is also like just as scary, if not scarier, to be honest. The only card I can see that argument for is Lutri, and quite literally, if you just ask any table in the country, they'd probably be fine with adding to your command zone. Yeah, I think that's fair. Hirobi Death's Will goes hard with Braids and Proliferate triggers. Swamp, Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Braids, Hotel Trivago. Yeah, and also just remember, like, if Lotus was live during Braids, just like being in the world, one of those cards would be banned right now. They just already. This is one of the cards like Turgrid, where unless it's CDH time, I'm literally never going to play against Braids. Yeah, that's also super fair. Alright, let's start. Hey, Roadrunners! Thank you very much for the big old spicy Ray. We got the Ray going on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, love the sound of it. Thank you very much, Roadrunners, for the big old spicy raid. We are right now going over the new banned and restricted list for Commander. We have a poll going on right now where you can vote 1, 2, or 3. You can either say Braids, Cabal, Minions should have stayed banned, 2 should have never been banned, or 3 it's fine in modern day Magic. I think, you know what? Honestly, I'm on the one side. Braids does not, me as a player, Braids does not elicit any joy for me, right? Just personally, Braids does not elicit any joy for me. Neither blue nor black braids, and you know how I feel about blue braids and group hug and stuff, so that shouldn't really be as a surprise. But I mean, like, I think modern Magic can deal with it, but I can tell you I don't want to deal with it at all. Lotus Petal is still legal. The 0 cost mana rock. Right. Alright, and then let's see what their dissenting opinion was. Braids, Cabal, Minion. This card is a beloved character, and a card many are nostalgic for. When played as one of your 99 cards or later in the game, it's a totally reasonable effect with an appropriate impact on the game. The most frustrating Braids game are when it's put out extremely quickly and people feel locked under it. However, as little as a single card removal spell can really set the entire plan back. As Commander decks have become more efficient, very true, with more targeted removal spells, and others have gotten better at identifying commanders that they don't want to play against and having pre-game conversations. So that gives us the confidence to bring back Braids. A lot has changed since Braids was banned in 2009. Wow, before I started playing. We mostly believe that people will know what they're signing up for in the game with Braids as the commander, as this card in 99 is reasonable and acceptable. Okay. Yeah. Turgid isn't banned. Turgid is vastly worse. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, like, that's a phrase. But yeah, I think modern day Magic can handle it, but I'm also okay if it was just never unbanned. Does not elicit any joy for me. Dies to removal, WotC 2025. Holy shit, that might be true though. What I don't understand with Braids unbanned is that it doesn't meet their requirements for being a candidate for unban. It seems like it directly conflicts with their own terms. In what way, Grizzly? Does not die to Doomblade. True. That is a knock for it. You can't have a second land to cast your 2-3 mana removal spell to get rid of Braids. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, because not every removal spell is just colorless, or, free, or 1 mana. Yeah. Beloved cards often means beloved character. Yeah, often. Alright, poll is ending in 2 minutes. I want to know chat's vote on this one. Just made a deck with the other Braids, and it's so fun. The mono blue one, putting stuff into play? Yeah.